It wouldn't let me in. Hello, how are you?
Oh.
Hello.
I lost track of time singing Disney princess songs.
Give us a taster.
Oh God, I've been learning Moana.
Love it.
Still practicing. Stop Prince. Sorry, that's him stamping his foot. How are you, ladies?
Good. Sun is shining. It always makes me feel so much happier.
Oh my God, it's just I've got like a really bad addiction. Not a bad addiction, but like I feel guilty if I'm not in it. Like even today, I knew I'd caught the sun and I had a sore shoulder. I was like, I can't sit anymore. But I was like, I can't just waste it. Like it's really, really bad. I have to. I get my friend said to me the other day, she goes, give it a rest. Like just enjoy being outside. But I was like following the sun when there was shade. She's like, just chill.
You're allowed to do that. That's okay. Don't have to worry about it.
I'm literally like, I just need to be this. It just makes me so happy.
It's
So good for you. It's so good for you.
Honestly, I think if the weather was 20 degrees every day, I think my whole life would be like just, I'll be on cloud 9 every single day.
It's so funny you say that because my coach, Tori, she always used to say to me, like, I don't understand how the weather can affect you so much. Like, if it starts raining, I'm a different person to if I wake up and the skies are blue and the sun is in the sky.
100%.
And she used to say to me, she was like, stop letting the rain affect your mood. I'm like, I don't think I allow it to. It just does. Like, it's just not the same, is it?
But then you do realise that is a story.
Of course.
Because since I've been doing the ice baths, everything's nice.
Yeah.
Everything's nice. I've done a cold shower today and I'm realising like when we can just like get in that moment of uncomfortability and then just sort of flow ourselves through it, you realise that it's not actually that bad. And then even now I'm noticing people are feeling bad for even moaning about the sun. And it's like, God, like, you can't win. You either moan about the sun or you moan that it's cold. Like, everyone's just got, like, always something wrong.
I know. I can't listen to people that moan about the sun. I'm like, oh, you serious? No, I don't want to hear it.
Don't need that negative energy.
Nuh-uh.
We are Leos here. We love Oh, God, it's so good to see you both. Honestly, I'll need to see you in the flesh soon.
Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
We will kick off. For those ladies who are catching us on the YouTube, we love you. We see you. Thank you for being here on the Wake Up Wednesdays. And we've got a really powerful topic today for our topic of conversation, which is facing our fears and how fear will leave you alone once you actually face it. So I have so many things that I would like to share. Obviously, my name's Charlie. I'm Charlie. My name's Charlie Grech. I'm 27 years young and I'm based in Essex in Chigwell in the UK. And I am one of the co-founders of a beautiful women's empowerment community that we are all a part of called PutUFirst. And it's honestly helped me become the person I am today. It's been a beautiful, challenging, abundant journey to meet so many incredible women as well along this journey that we've been on for the past couple of years. And I am also co-hosting with one of my beautiful soul sisters whom I'm about to pass you over to next.
Hello. My name is Natalie, and honestly, we're just so grateful if you are catching the replay. And thank you, Chloe, for being with us today. Today is a big topic. I'm really, really excited. We've been doing a hell of a lot of work, all three of us, including Chloe, on facing our fears and working through our beliefs and really changing our lives. But a little bit of background about me. I'm a carer. I live in Essex, just down the road from Charlie. And I'm also a spiritual advisor. That's something that I've only just put into my bio, but it's something that I'm really stepping into. And one of my fears that I did face was the sort of stigma that everyone else would think of me, the judgment, I've always been a little bit of a person to care too much about what people think, but this year especially, I've really tried pushing past those limiting beliefs and facing those fears and changing the stories that I tell myself. So one of them was that I'm not experienced enough to be a spiritual advisor. That wasn't something that I ever described myself as before. But when I look back, Luna by Nat has nearly been happening for a year now, which is crazy. I'm so grateful that I took that first step. Thank you, Charlie, for consistently pushing me to just do it. For those of you who don't know what Luna by Nat is, it's just a little business that I started during lockdown. One, to express my creativity, but two, to also give energy to others and allow them to really accept abundance into their life, utilising the energy that we have within nature. But yes, that's nearly been going for a year now. And when I look back over this year and I think about the amount of people that I have advised spiritually, it just makes sense for me to use that title and for me to continue giving good energy to others. So I'm really excited for today's topic, because as much as we're happy to maybe give you some guidance, I'm looking forward to receiving some guidance. I love these Wake Up Wednesday calls because it really is about just having those open conversations. And as much as we love sharing with you, like I said, we also love learning. So Charlie, I'm going to pass it back and we'll go from there.
Oh, honestly, I love that, because as much as I know people come to me for advice as well, I would definitely say I adopt the role as a spiritual advisor. Nat, I'm making that one as well. I said to Natalie earlier, because we were talking about certain things, and one of my good friends, Wesley, and I hope that he will join us for Wake Up Wednesdays, because Wake Up Wednesdays is now open as well to men. So if you do have people that are on this wavelength and quite aware and want to connect, really one of my main purposes that I've been focused on for the last couple of years would definitely be, Sylvan isn't mine, by the way, so I can hear the delay. You're gonna have to turn that down, Hannah. Put on the earphones. I've got earphones here if you want them.
I mean, I love this. Hey, Sylvana.
She's putting the earphones in. Sorry about that, girls. Where was I? Yes, communities. So that was really a big thing for me. Obviously, growing up in my environment, it was quite a negative environment for me, and I felt that I didn't really have much support, and I was always really obsessed with the big questions like, what's the meaning of life? Why are we here? Why do people do things the way they do? I actually studied sociology and community awareness in school as well, so it was always something that I was fascinated by. And luckily for the last 2 to 3 years, I've been able to build communities and bring them together. And I am a DJ, so I love creating a vibe and I love events and just that really open, free flow festivals where people connect. I've met some of the most incredible people in my life at events who have now become my soul family, and I'm so blessed and grateful to have those experiences. However, I do feel like that environment can sometimes be quite negative rather than positive and help you actually get back to yourself. So that's something that I actually aspire to create, is an event where we can bring people together, open-minded people, and assist each other on our growth and elevate each other. I have just launched my abundance program, which I'm so excited about, on the 1st of June. And we have now named the 1st of June in it's Abundance Day. Everyone, the 1st of June is now Abundance Day. I'm so blessed and grateful for all the incredible, beautiful souls that have joined me on this journey as well. This is my actual first program where I am independently coaching. I've been doing it for a while in a community, but it's a big thing for me. And I'm just so blessed and grateful that I believe in myself to be able to share my gifts, and that's something that I want to share with the world, because we're all so gifted. We've all got a beautiful perception on life and reality, and your gift to the world is you being able to express that and find who you truly are. So I feel like Wake Up Wednesdays is a place where we can do that, where we can come together, express ourselves freely and face our fears together and know that we're not alone. And I've been facing a massive fear lately. I know people would probably believe that performing is easy for me, but it's definitely not. And I am going to be working as a Disney princess for children's parties, and it's a good friend of mine. It's her business, My Magical Parties. If you do want to go check it out on Instagram, I mean, oh, you'll just fall into a trap of beautiful singing and Disney princesses. It's so nice. But singing has been something that has been a massive fear and a block for me. But then I know as well that, okay, well, this fear is being sent to me for me to learn a lesson. And I've had a lot of things come up throughout my childhood, like reasons why I shouldn't, and memories about what affected me and the complexes I absorbed from them experiences and the limiting beliefs. We've gone over that a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, facing your fear, it helps you evolve. And I understand that it can be quite triggering to step out of your hell zone. I'm not even going to say the other word anymore because we know better than that. But with facing your fears, it's really about finding out what you want and focusing on that. And also there's a couple of tips that I want to give to everyone today for free, because you said you wanted some things to learn. And I feel like one of the main things that we forget when we are manifesting or trying to shift things in our lives is when we are expanding our belief systems, when we are expanding our aura, our energetic essence, our soul, when we're expanding, we always think, how will I do this? We always want, our logical mind wants a plan. It needs that structure to believe that it's going to happen. But ultimately, there's only 4 things that you are actually required to do. And the first thing is to focus on your desire, set the intention, focus on what it is, feel it, and heal yourself. So we can do this in many different ways. You can meditate, you can do breath work, you can reach out to a friend, a good friend that is going to encourage you, that is going to believe in you, that is going to make you feel lovely after you've spoken to them. And the third thing is to keep your vibration up. Now, you can do this through many different ways. And one thing I'm learning is singing is definitely one of them. And it makes sense because the ego, which wants you to stay the same, which is scared, which is the voices in the head, is telling me, what if you forget a word? What if you can't do that? What if you don't sound good? Really, why am I even focusing on that? That's not what I want. So I'm doing it as I'm teaching it at the same time. And the last, but the most important thing that we all have to do is be as present as possible in the moment. So don't worry about what can happen next, because what happens next will happen in the now. You're missing the now when you keep focusing on the back and forwards. And even if you become aware of that, I'm learning just to even say to myself, I am present. Breathe in through the nose, life force energy in, life force energy out. And then 4 tips will literally help you shift your vibration and bring you into the alignment that you actually want to be in. Now, I want to open it up and pass it over to you, Nat, because I know that you've probably got some things that you'd like to share.
Do you know what? It's really funny that you said that, because I was reading The Untethered Soul again earlier. That's my favourite book at the moment. If I haven't already said that, about 50 Wake Up Wednesdays. But honestly, it really is speaking to my soul. And I read it, I think the beginning of this year, wasn't it, Charlie? And I was like, oh my God, you have to start reading this again. It was like a different book. Now, one chapter, I think I don't ignore the synchronicities anymore. I know that there is absolutely no such thing as coincidences in my life. But even speaking to you, Charlie, and what you just said about that tip, I can't wait to send this recording to Nat. Hey, Nat, you're going to be watching this on the recording. But we had a conversation about this earlier, about, she asked me a question, and it was along the lines of, not word for word, but she had some conflicting information. It's like, when you want something, do you keep it at the forefront of your mind every single day and focus on it? So why do people also tell you to detach yourself at the same time? And she was like, it's quite conflicting. And I was like, oh my God, you've blown my mind. Because one, that's what I'm saying. You have to focus on what you want. And then the next day I'm like, but detach from the outcome. And I never realised how conflicting that advice was. And she came back to me today and she gave me some advice and actually answered her own question. And it was along the lines of detaching yourself from the how it's going to happen. So when you just said that, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But also the chapter that I've been reading in The Untethered Soul is what I got to today, is all about letting go of fear. which I'm like, obviously. So I just want to read just one section here, which it says what fear is. One of the lowest of all vibrations is fear. Fear is the cause of every problem. It's the root of all prejudices and the negative emotions of anger, jealousy, and possessiveness. If you had no fear, you could be perfectly happy living in this world. And that is something that really spoke to my soul, because it's so true. If we focus on the fears that we have, many of them do stem from childhood. Many of them do come from beliefs that we were programmed with, not necessarily that we chose throughout our life. And I've done a hell of a lot of work releasing a lot of my fears, facing my fears in order for them to be released, should I say. And I went through a stage, Charlie, I know you'll remember this, where it was like everything that my ego was telling me not to do, I was doing it, because I was like, right, anything you say, I'm tearing you down. I'm facing you head on and I'm pushing forward. And I've always rapped. I like to now say spoken word, because I feel like when I say rap, I sound like I rap. Joke. But I do like to do like spoken word poetry. That's always been a form of me expressing myself and really allowing my emotions to flow and get them out. It was always for fun before, I'm not going to lie. Like, I wrote one about my bastard ex-boyfriend that you probably heard of on previous Wake Up Wednesdays. I wrote one for my best friend for my maid of honour speech at her wedding. And this was something that I only really done for fun. But then last year, I wrote one for PutUFirst, obviously our community, and all the lessons that we learn and the things that we have done as a community and what we are continually doing. But also I decided to start making them a little bit more public, which was one of my biggest fears. Like I said earlier on this call, I have always been really worried about what people thought of me. And honestly, that voice gets loud when you want to do something and you're facing that fear. It will do absolutely everything in its power to stop you from doing what it is you really want to do. And I put out the rap for PutUFirst. I felt amazing because the feedback that I received from the women, especially in our community, I know that I spoke those words from collective consciousness as well as my own. And I know how much it touched a lot of women in there. So I'm really, really grateful that I had the courage to do that. But the second thing was singing, like you just said, Charlie. I've always sung in the car, in the shower, karaoke, like as a joke, nothing serious. But I always like to write lyrics down, or like I say, spoken word. And then if I find a beat, I'll just sort of flow, go into the free flow. And this song one day just flowed out of me. And I sent it to Charlie, and I think Charlie sat on it for about 2 months. And every week she'd message me, she'd be like, you've got to show people. You've got to share this. You've got to show people.
I was showing people. I loved it that much. I was like, people need to hear this. Seriously.
But honestly, it took me about 2 months to face that fear as well. And I put it out. I was using Instagram as my platform because I felt like for me, Instagram was also a massive part of my fears within life, I think. The judgment, the comparison, the fears of being seen, the fear of people judging who I am. So I really use that as a platform to just allow to express myself and sort of detach myself from whatever judgment I thought I was going to receive. But I put out that video. The next one was my fears with my body, my insecurity. And I'm so grateful because Chloe done something very similar not that long ago. And honestly, seeing it from this side and seeing other women stand up and be like, I am beautiful. It doesn't matter about what society says, what you say, what that person on the other side of Facebook's going to say. I know I'm beautiful. I know I'm an incredible human being, and that is all that matters. And that was something that I did, and I just put it up, and I really wanted to share the message about normalizing normal bodies. But facing your fears is very scary. It really is. Like I said, the ego gets super loud. The identified self will do everything in its power to protect you because it doesn't want you to grow. It doesn't want you to let go of that part of yourself that keeps us comfortable, like we say, keeps us safe. So I've been facing a lot of fears head on. I know that I have got a hell of a lot of work to do within the next couple of months. I spoke to my spiritual advisor, and there's a lot of shadow work that I need to do. And I know that this is where the real work begins. I feel like I've done a lot of surface level fears. Now I'm ready to do a deep dive, and I'm ready to face the things that I know I'm ready to release, but that maybe I've been a little bit too fearful to face head on before. But girl, I'm coming for you. And I'm gonna do it. So yeah, let's do this. Let's do it together, ladies. Because honestly, when we face our fears, like that paragraph just said, you can live the happiest life if you've got no fear. So yeah, Charlie, back over to you.
Oh, wow, like I'm literally, I feel quite emotional because it's so beautiful to see another woman just stand in her power and know that, yeah, this is going to be a challenge, but I'm not facing it alone. I'm facing it for the collective. I'm facing it for all women and men, because when I'm me, when I'm really me, when I surrender and trust that it's okay, I can let go, I can live, I can be. You're doing this for everyone, not just you, Nat, and I'm proud of you. I love you so much. Your heart is just so, like, I'm so grateful. And I know every woman on this Wake Up Wednesdays and the people watching, they felt that. Like, you were like divine warrior dragon out here. I'm ready to slay you. See my light.
I love you.
I'm so excited, honestly, because I feel like for me as well, I done a deep dive and then I came out to the surface. But now I'm doing the surface level stuff. So for people to see my growth, I understand that sometimes we have to face what's inside for our reality to change. It's easier sometimes to look outside and fix what's out there, because you don't have to look inside at your darkness. You don't have to do the introspection. You don't have to take the accountability and responsibility for how you've allowed people to treat you. Ultimately, how you may have sacrificed your values. And when you say things like that to people, they're triggered. I know I used to be, wow. I was dealing with PTSD 3 years ago. I was trigger central. Honestly, the calmness and peace that I've found in my being now, I know it's possible for everyone because the amount of demons that I had to slay, but I'm still slaying them. And I know that you are too, because that's why you're here. And I think that's what's so beautiful, that we get to actually surround ourselves with people that want to expand and that want to grow and want to look inside and change what's inside to be better for this world, to have a better life, to express themselves more authentically, more confidently, more lovingly. Like, some people find it scary to love because they associate love with pain. And then what you're doing is you're pushing away one of the most natural life force energies that we all need. Like, it's a need, that energy. You deserve to be loved. But we do try and protect ourselves because maybe we've experienced neglect or emotional abuse from parents or relationships. And that's okay. Like, it's not okay what you went through, but it's okay how you feel. And I realize as well, a lot of the things that I used to say to people, because I grew up in such a negative environment, I used to see through people's actions and understand what was going on. And that's quite triggering for you to see someone when they don't yet see themselves. That can make someone feel extremely uncomfortable. And that's something that I found was pretty much an everyday occurrence in my life. And I always kind of blamed myself. I thought it was my fault that I was making these people feel this way when I was being honest. I probably could have been rude at times, but we've all done that. But you being honest and somebody else being triggered by that, that's their journey. That's something that they need to ask themselves. Why am I feeling like this? Why is this situation bringing this up in me? And how can I love myself and give myself what I'm expecting from this person? Now, this is a process. Like, I've been doing this for a while, so I understand it in a way where I can share it. But at the time when I first learned about this stuff, I thought, are you serious? Like, this is just And how can I do something? And then you have these stories of, oh, they're still not going to change, and it's what's the point? No one else is doing it. All of these voices, but ultimately it doesn't matter. It really, really does not matter, because you deserve to be happy, regardless to what situation you're in, physically, mentally, emotionally, even health-wise. You still deserve to have the faith to get better and live a better life. That is your right. Abundance is your birthright. We always say this. And I think it's so beautiful for us to have these real conversations, and also be able to express ourselves freely when we're not feeling okay, because then we can actually have the deeper connections and understanding and empathy to help people get out of their shell and feel comfortable enough to do that. And I know that that's possible because I've got them people around me. And Natalie, you're definitely one of them. Silvana as well, you are too. Like, we support one another. We love each other. We're a community. And I think that's why it's so important for us to really come together, especially in our day and age. Like, the world is changing, we're shifting, and we want to be around love. We want to be around peace. We've all experienced a lot of shit. We deserve to be happy now, and that's okay. But it does take some shifting from letting go of what no longer serves. And that can be fearful, because ultimately, if you're going to put yourself in a situation that maybe you've been in and you've had a negative experience, you're not going to trust that it's going to go well. Or even if you do put yourself in a situation that you've still never been in, where many things have gone wrong, you might have this perception of that, oh, everything always goes bad for me, nothing ever goes right. And that could be your problem, because what you're doing is you're projecting it into your reality. You're casting a spell in your life. You're expecting negative things to come to you. So even if something good was to come along, are you even going to have the awareness to even see it? And I'm saying that because I used to be that person. That's why I'm so conscious now about who I spend my time and energy with, because if I do spend my time and energy with people who are like that, then I'm going to become that person. And that's not of service to me or anyone. Because you see how happy and positive I am. Imagine the other side of that with me. And I think it's so beautiful as well to really integrate your fears and be able to actually understand what it is that you're fearing really, because the situation that's arising, it might help you understand yourself better and actually what's the real problem.
I completely agree with this, because I do feel like we had this discussion earlier, Charlie, because I was bringing up some of the things that I was fearful about, and it was the fact that we have this awareness. I believe the way that the fears are being shown to us is, of course, for a greater or a higher reason. And the fears that we're programmed with, I genuinely believe that we chose as soul beings before we came to this place. We chose our battles. We chose what it was we was going to go through. And unfortunately, we forget that we picked this, and we've just got to go through life and get through it. But when these fears come up, it is really illuminating part of ourselves that needs to have the light shone on. It's a part of ourselves that maybe we've hid away for far too long. And ultimately, when we push past those fears, it's a part of ourselves that could improve the rest of our life, not just for us, but for the collective as well. And of course, no one wants to face their fears because it's scary. No one wants to be scared. No one ever wants to be put in a position where they feel uncomfortable or they feel those low vibrations. Like we just said, fear is one of the lowest vibrations. No one wants to feel that. Of course, people want to feel happy. But like Charlie said about integration, like that's a huge part of growing as a person. And especially I know for me on my spiritual path and my spiritual awakening and enlightenment, it's so important that we as human beings or spiritual beings, whatever you want to call it, we face the fears, because it's not until we understand those dark parts of ourselves that we really understand the life that is coming to us into our reality. Charlie, you said something to me earlier which really hit home, that whatever's manifesting out into our physical reality is just a mirror image of what is going on inside internally. And as much as I've always known that, I feel like I understand it on such a deeper level now. And I realise that maybe the fears that I carry with me subconsciously that maybe I know that's there and I haven't been ready to face just yet, I'm still noticing them come up in my physical reality. And honestly, ladies, they will keep surfacing. That will keep happening. That cycle, that pattern, whatever it is that you're scared of, it will keep rearing its ugly, fearful head. And unless you have the courage to be like, do you know what? I'm going to deal with you right now. I'm going to sit there with this pain. I'm going to work through this fear in order for me to acknowledge what it is, for me to see it for what it is, and for me to release it in order for me to let go of that low vibration and that lack of abundance. Because ultimately, when we're sitting with fear, we are stopping abundance coming into our life because the vibration is too low and it is not possible. I'm just grateful that I have you ladies that will support me, and not just me, but so many others who are willing to take this journey, because this journey isn't for the light-hearted. And we are honestly doing what 90% of the world isn't. So many people are scared to face their fears, and that is okay. Like, no one's trying to push you to do something that you are not ready to do. If I was told to do this work 3 years ago, when I was in the mindset that I would have run a million miles in the other direction. But it really is about doing small daily things every single day. And whether it is just that you are making a conscious effort to stay aware, to recognize the feelings, the thoughts, the emotions when you're in a certain experience, when you're going through a certain situation, when you are in a certain environment. The things that come up inside of you, the way that you gain the awareness from that experience is massive, because that will really show you the fears that you are holding on to that are so necessary for you to let go of. So the small 10% every single day, or let's say 1%, I don't even think you need to give 10% on a daily basis, even if you just put the 1% in every day. And it's just to be consciously aware of the things that are rising inside of you. And instead of pushing them back down, maybe start asking certain questions that you might not have been ready to before. Maybe it's just, why am I feeling this question? Why am I feeling this emotion? Why, when I'm in this situation, do I feel like I want to react this way? It's just being aware of the patterns, because once you realize the patterns, you can cut out the loop. You can create a whole new path. You can go off on your whole new tangent. And honestly, who wants to keep spinning round on a hamster wheel? Bloom, blossom, go on whatever path you want to go on. And ultimately, the path starts when you let go of the fears that you are clinging on to.
Oh, I love that. Break the mold.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
what we've got to do, and make our own path where there may not be one led out for you, and face the challenges that arise, because those are challenges you're going to have to face them regardless if you're working on somebody else's dream or if you're working on yours. So you might as well risk it for yourself. Like, that is so powerful what you just said that. And I love the perfect word that you embraced and shared today was courage, because that is the opposite to fear. And when you have courage, when you trust and surrender and have faith, you know what your desire is, you set that intention, you keep your vibration up, you eat good food, you're around good people, you elevate yourself, you look after yourself, you love yourself, you be yourself. Life will blossom around you because you are being the best version of you in this present moment. And the best thing that we can do when we feel away is to breathe. Rather than because that's what I used to do. I used to blow up. I mean, I would blow up to the point of where I'd become physically ill for the next week. I couldn't get out of bed because I was so exhausted. I would cry for days and shout to the point of when I'd lose my voice and I couldn't even speak anymore. And I was just exploding at the seams because I didn't know what to deal with this frustration energy. And I understood now that the best thing that we can do is breathe. And sometimes in that moment, it seems like the hardest thing to do. But I'm telling you, if you hold your breath, that's harder. But we've got trauma. We've got trauma trapped in our breath work. It's really important for you to breathe, for you to bring yourself back to this moment. Even for an instance, if you're going to go to Aldi, for instance, you're going to be in a shopping mall, there's loads of people around. Obviously, there's many different political views of the world right now. I definitely won't get into any of them. However, you may find that you're walking and you're in a bit of a rush and there's someone who's being really slow in front of you. Rather than you getting frustrated, rather than you going on your phone and moaning about it to someone, just breathe. Shrug it off. Deep breath in through the nose. If they hear you do that and they make a judgment, remember that's nothing to do with you. You've stopped yourself from being triggered. You've won. You've taken back your power. And this is something that I do every single day. I still do it. Just because I'm facing my fears and I might have been doing this for longer, I still feel the exact same emotions that arise. And there's one thing that we all need to be very aware of. You can read every single self-help book ever made by man. You can experience whatever you experience, and you can understand it on a conscious level with your logical mind. However, you're never going to get away from the emotions until you release them. So it's really important that you have support and you have community and you have people around you that also can hold space for themselves when you can't hold space for you. And I'm grateful because you ladies do that for me, and we check in on each other and we actually genuinely care about one another. And I feel like the reason why is because we've experienced the lack of that and we don't want other people to feel the same. So I think it's just beautiful. Whatever you do, just do your best to be the best you and put you first. Like, no pun intended, actually put yourself first, because that's okay. Because it's probably been the opposite your entire life. And we also feel guilty sometimes and shame for not wanting to do maybe what others want to do. But that doesn't mean that you're saying that they're wrong. It's just saying it's not right for you. And that's okay. And I want to open it up. Has anyone got anything they'd love to share, or epiphanies or emotions?
Obviously.
Yeah.
I've got something to say. Hi, ladies. I suddenly just felt a little bit emotional all of a sudden. I think it was an amazing topic because I think I wouldn't have known how to before face my fears. You know, I was always, and I still am, it's an everyday battle. I'm full of, you know, self-doubt or talking down at myself. But like I said, when I start doing it now, I can try and turn it around. But when you're saying about facing your fears and, you know, changing your path or even creating a new path for you right now, that's honestly what, since joining PutUFirst, I have got this new, brightly manicured, gorgeous path now leading to my like higher and future self that is being created by the help of you women. And I face so many fears, but they're not fears that I could probably put my finger on. You know, I don't have, I'm not self-doubting. I cannot sing. So I never will do that. Like, I really can't. Okay. I sing like I speak, but I can't actually pinpoint, I think, really fears that I'm facing or fears that I'm overcoming. I just know that I am going through, I think, facing the fear of myself and facing the fear of talking down to myself about anything and everything, and facing, how am I making it, facing the knowledge that I do that, I've changed, you know, and little things I know I've improved on. Speaking out in team meetings, say at work, I would always stutter, and I still do sometimes, but I'm a lot more comfortable now just to public speak, which I never could done before. And that is purely based on the things that I've been taught by you women, and feeling safe and feeling like I've been in a safe space to be able to speak. And it's just amazing what it does. You know, you're right. If you don't face anything, you'll never ever grow as a person. And who doesn't want to grow? And right now I'm trying to explain this to my friends without coming across that I'm preaching, which I'm still trying to learn, because, you know, in one breath they're saying, oh, it's amazing that you've done this and great, and then wanting to find out more. I'm just going a bit of a rant now, but whatever. And then laughing about it in the next minute once I've had a drink. Oh yeah, you put you first. I was like, well, you know, 5 minutes ago you wanted to know more about this, but clearly they're not ready to face their fears yet. They think that they are, and they want to find out more, but they're still stuck in their ways, and I'm trying to drag them out. But yeah, I just wanted to say that I'm comfortable facing my fears. I want to face my fears. I want to try and constantly grow. And I think I've gone through that hiccup when I first joined the community. You know, I was on this high and then I went on that low, didn't I? And now I've kind of evened back out, and I'm just kind of ready to any fear that I've got inside me, like to actually face, like not even just head on, like full body smash forward on. And it's because of this community. So thank you for teaching me and being on this journey with me, and teaching me everything I know.
Thank you for joining us. Honestly, Chloe, I adore you. You said one thing that really hit me right in my heart center. Facing the fear of being you. Because many of us have pushed ourselves away, and we've dissociated ourselves with parts of us that we didn't feel that was right to express in society, especially as women. And this has been since childhood. This has been since adolescence. The things you see on TV, everything around you is constantly programming you to be a certain way. It's very hard for you to be you when it's clouded by the loudness of expectations. And the fact that you just said that was beautiful, Chloe, because you just said something that is going to plant so many seeds in people's minds. And it's really just as easy as that. We have to realize that we are enough to be us. And if that's not good enough, then that's somebody else's problem, because I'm doing my best.
And I've done that, you know, and I actually had a friend say to me the other day, I was trying to explain something, you know, she's not in a good place, and I was trying to explain something positive, or, you know, trying to give her words of wisdom. And she's like, you know, you've just changed so much the past year. I think she meant a year, you know, this past 6 months since meeting new ladies. And I kind of was like, have I changed, or am I just being my true authentic self now and not shying away from it? I would say I've changed, because I don't want to thought I don't change. There's just parts of me that I haven't ever wanted to share, or I've suppressed so deeply I didn't know was a part of me. But I don't think we change. We're just allowing ourselves to be ourselves.
That's deep.
What I've done.
Drop the mic.
That's so deep, Chloe. Honestly, one thing that I want to say to you is people from an outsider's perspective who don't understand the journey that you're on will see your path as change, because they can't see it for what it is. You're lucky enough to stand strong in the knowledge that actually you haven't changed, that you are unlocking parts of yourself that was always within you, but like you said, that you was too scared to maybe have shown before. And now you're wearing yourself so proudly, so boldly, so loudly, and keep doing that. Like, don't ever stop doing that, regardless what other people think or what other people may say. One thing that I've learned is that people only perceive you from their own level of consciousness. And that was something that really hit me hard, because you can do all the work in the world and you could be the most angelic person, but if you're trying to speak to someone who's on a different frequency to you, it's going to be like you're speaking two different languages. They're not going to be able to perceive you from that level of consciousness. And that's okay. That's okay. Not everyone's there yet. You have to keep shining your light. You just have to keep reaching out your hand. And when they're ready, they will come. Because trust me, first they watch, then they laugh, then they ask, what are you doing? And then they follow. And then they follow. So you just keep leading the way, because that is what you're doing. And honestly, I'm just so proud of you. Like, you make my heart so full. I'm grateful to know you. I'm so glad that you said yes to yourself, yes to this community. And thank you for always speaking up. I'm so glad that you do, and that you're confident in speaking, because the things that you've got to say, Chloe, people need to hear. So thank you. Thank you for being you.
Ladies.
Oh, honestly, I second that big time, because Chloe, as much as yes, we've maybe been on this journey for, in human understanding, a longer period of time, but we got to fast track your journey by teaching you what we learned. And that's what our mentors have done for us. That's what we're meant to do for people. We're meant to help people not make the same mistakes that we did. And I feel like mistakes are lessons. Remember, there's no mistakes. Challenges are growth. Like, that's you going for a breakthrough. That's you opening up your heart to new light, but you have to release the old and embrace the new. And sometimes, yes, that can be scary, especially when your ego is attached to this illusion of this is what makes me happy. Even though sometimes when you come back into your heart center and you actually sit with yourself and you say, what's missing? There, when we find the real answers of what fulfills and satisfies our true needs. And I feel like a lot of us are scared to let go of what we may be okay with because we don't believe that we can actually really have what we truly want. And that's a big fear as well, that a lot of people I know experience on a daily basis. A lot of people come to me and say this, I was that person. That's why I attract people like this, because I've learned that. So now I've actually got an energy service to actually share with people and say, like, you're getting in your own way by creating this story. If you know in your heart that something isn't right and you are not satisfied and you're not feeling fulfilled, then it's down to you, and you're the only person that can shift your life. And as scary as that might sound, it's also empowering to know that you have the power to change your life. No one else can actually give you what you need until you finally realize that it comes from within. And then, wow, life will bless you with uncapped potential of love, support, guidance, friendships, because you know what? You are everything already. And I feel like that's a deep journey that I've been going on, is remembering that everything is me and I am everything. Every experience that is brought to me, every challenge is here to serve a purpose. Even though I might not even know it in that moment, I know it's going to make sense one day. And I've been on this journey for a while. I've been into spirituality pretty much since I was about 19, but I've always been quite a philosophical person. So yes, this kind of conversation might come naturally to me, but as I said, I still experience exactly the same emotions that every living human being does. And I think that's what people need to understand, that we can understand everything, but we're never going to get away from the emotions. But the emotions are expressions of our soul, and that's how we feel alive. That's how we know that we exist, because we feel our energy. And when you feel your energy, you realize that's your power and you get to express it. And Chloe, I'm grateful that you now have the courage to express yourself freely. The words of wisdom that come out of your being, your perception of life, helps me widen mine and my point of view. I'm grateful for you. I love you. And I'm just so I'm blessed that we have these conversations. Like, as much as you learn from me, I learn from you. Like, one thing in the 5 a.m. Club, the Robin Sharma book that I've been reading, he says that every gift that we have, like this book, he wants people to share this, and he also wants people to teach their gifts, because the teacher learns the most. Like, I can read this book and I can experience it myself, but if I show somebody else this and then I actually learn from their experience, it solidifies my belief. So I feel like I understand and resonate with your situation with your friends, because this is helping you so much. You want to gift them this. You know, oh my God, make you so much better. But unfortunately, it's usually the people close to us that are the ones that embrace us last. And that is the journey. But luckily we've got our soul family.
Exactly. Well, I'm really lucky. Like my close friends that I've met later on in life that are like my soul sisters, they call me all the time and just, Chloe, what would you do in this situation? And it's only me recently, and actually since doing PutUFirst, and one of them, she said to me, she goes, have you ever thought about being a life coach? And obviously I am nowhere near that, but she has just made me, and she's made me realize, and you girls make me realize, you know what, I have grown so much, and I do speak the truth and things that I've been taught, and it's not that I'm just coming out these things, it's things that I've noticed and awareness, and like we say so many times, awareness is key. And yeah, I've just honestly learned so much, and I just love learning more and more and more. And there's that, you'll never learn enough, and you'll never know enough about it, do you? And the more honestly, when I get off these calls on a Wednesday or a Sunday, my heart just feels full. I just feel like I have a better night's sleep just knowing that I've connected with my soul sisters and just connected and spoken the truth and being my true self. You know, does anyone else feel like that, or is that me just
We all feel like that. Oh, you're gonna make me cry.
Literally, you're so cute. That just really made my eyes full, because I was like, I cannot. Because you know what, when you say that, we feel it. And I know that this is what we wanted to create with what we're doing. It's just exactly that. We want to make sure that every woman knows how important that they are and that they believe in themselves. And so I'm grateful that we have these open conversations. I'm grateful that we share this space. I'm grateful that we get to fill you up, Chloe, because you fill us up. And all of you on this call, every single person, whether your camera's on, we say this all the time, you bring energy into this call, whether you feel like you speak or you don't, you show your face or you don't. We are so incredibly grateful for those catching up on the YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We see you, we love you, and we're just so grateful to be able to change perspectives and add good energy to the world. That's something that I definitely embody at the moment. It's just about giving good energy. I feel like I am embodying good energy, and so I want to gift that to others. So Chloe, I'm so glad when you say that. It makes my heart so full to know that you're so full. So just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh wow, honestly, I just second that again. As you just said, this is what we created Wake Up Wednesdays for. Wake Up Wednesdays was created to have real conversations, connect people together, and actually change perceptions, because when you change your perception on life, it changes the world, it changes reality, it shifts what we experience. And I know that with love and support from you ladies, that's what helps us keep doing this. And it makes us understand that this divine insight that came to us of creating Wake Up Wednesdays, this was just a thought. This was something that we had to face a fear to do this. Yeah. We definitely had to face a massive fear to do this. And I remember me and Natalie was just on the phone and we was like, we need to record our conversations. Like, honestly, half the time I'm like, what did I just say? And then she's like, what did I just say? And I'm like, we need to start just having conversations and just let people get involved. And then we can just talk about stuff, but like really talk about things openly, vulnerably, emotionally, and find out what is going on. Because we were trying to figure it out together, and then we realized, you know what, if we bring more people into this, we'll probably be able to widen our perspective, and that's what we're doing. So please continue to show up and add energy to this and share this as well. We want to share this with men and women, and we want to hear different people's perspectives as well. We want to really just grow our awareness and grow our community and come together. I'm just so excited for where this is about to go. Like, I can feel major shifts coming on, especially with that full moon eclipse in Sag. Wow, is anyone the same as they was last week?
No, and also it's going to be a long eclipse season, ladies, so it is something that you're going to be faced with a lot of energies that might be rising, that you feel, oh, this is uncomfortable, oh, don't know if I'm ready to face that. But honestly, if you do the work during this eclipse season, it will fast forward you to be able to get back to a higher vibration, because a lot of people will start doing shadow work just at a random time, and it can take them a lot longer. If you put the energy in now while you are in eclipse season and you allow that energy to flow, no matter how uncomfortable it is, no matter how scary it is, it honestly will do you a massive favor. You look at the person that you are now, do this work, come back to us in 3 months' time and show us who you are then, because I promise you, you are going to be a powerful woman or man. Sorry if you are watching this. Powerful woman or man, just for honestly using this time wisely and not bowing down. Like you said, Chloe, that's what I'm going to use. I'm body slamming into my fears. Like, I ain't just going head on. I'm fully body slamming.
Soldier boy up in the place. Oh wow, honestly, I'm so excited because everything that you just said is right. And Chloe, a little bit of information. Mercury, yes, it has gone into retrograde, but it's actually something that's really positive for Leos and fire signs right now. So girl, take this time to be that dragon and slay that energy like you said earlier. Yeah, your fire is passion, fire, anger. Sometimes we see this as negative. It's expression, it's energy. It is okay for you to feel frustrated about things that are going on, things that you've experienced, but it's important to release it. And obviously you can do this in many ways. You don't have to shout at people. You can punch a pillow, you can scream, you can sing, move your body, you can get that energy out, get that stagnant energy out, move your body, shake it off.
Make the most of this sun, for
Make
sure.
the most of this sun,
I
for
feel
sure.
powerful at the moment. I feel powerful.
That's how you should feel, powerful, because you are full of power, but it's up to you how you choose to use it. And if you use this power when you feel powerful to manifest what you want and focus on your intention and desire, keep your energy up, stay out in the sun, go out there and live. No more looking back. We're looking forward. We've done the looking back. We know what happened. We don't need to keep going over it. Reminiscing, it's in the past. We are in the present. Let's keep looking forward, ladies. Oh my God, honestly, this has just been the most amazing conversation. I don't even want to end it, but we are coming to a close on the Wake Up Wednesdays. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for sharing your energy. We love you. And just thank you for your presence and your gift to the world. Share your perception, share your story. We love you, kings and queens, and keep going, keep growing, and keep glowing.
We love you.
Love you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.